Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Hops, back at it again on the mic. This is RSC Season 8. This is Elite League play we have here today. And what a fantastic game we have ahead of us. Man in the helm is Boopy, as he does a fantastic job as per usual. And right next to me is a man picked straight out of the world of Lord of the Rings, the guy who has a beard to rival Archeon himself. It is Greybeard. How are you doing, my friend?
Fabulous, Hops, and I'm very excited about this. We have a top 1 and top 2 team going at it, and which should make for a very exciting series. So keen to see that and how that all plays out. But I see with Titans in the number 1 spot, even if Carnage take this in a sweep, they will still be 1 point behind. So Titans have gotten themselves into a good position there.
100%, they really have, but it's one hell of a tall order to climb against this Carnage roster. As we get the stats up on the screen, we can kind of have a look at how these two teams pair up with each other. Carnage, obviously, as we just aforementioned, being at the tippity top spot right now. And they're going to be one hell of a team to take down if we go along here. 36% shooting completion, though. 3% higher over Carnage. So Titans getting a little bit more completion when it comes to their offense. But along the charts, it seems to be Titans, the one leading the charge. A lot of the time, these fine margins coming from Carnage and the Symbiote roster come from that structure. As we talked about last night, talked with Vector on stream. Symbiotes, they like that methodical play, and Carnage is that, almost the epitome, they're just below Premier, the epitome of that play, especially in that number 1 spot.
The Titans are goal-scoring machines, 168 goals, only 123 for Carnage, but slightly more leaky in defense. They've conceded 10 more goals than Carnage have. So close in some respects, but you can see in those numbers the small gap that exists between these two teams. Carnage, of course, will want to undo some of that work tonight and try and close that gap as much as possible. But they're close enough to make for a very tight series, I think. Certainly, the numbers aren't such that you expect Titans to dominate it. They're slightly better, but Carnage, I think, can do enough to maybe create a bit of carnage themselves.
100%. We always like a bit of carnage on the Rocket League field. Does make our caster lives a little bit easier. I do love the hype. But on Titan, it is Ols, KO, Zaki, and Vector versus Carnage's roster of Marvel's Rounds, Unit, and Karma. I'm expecting to see Titans start up with any combination of this roster. And what I love about Titans is the fact that all of these players have played 30-plus games. A large amount of the time you see one player being that sub, not appearing much on the game time, but having these 4 players rotate so consistently means that any sort of combination of these players will perform at the tippity top. On the other side of things, though, Marvels is that kind of designated substitute, only playing 16 games. Lowndes on the other side with 43 games. However, the most time played player in this lobby is Ols with 44 to his name, and he has got that 82% win rate. So it's really, really difficult to see how these two teams match up, especially when you're looking at the two team sheets. I mean, yes, Titan, they are on that first place seed, but if you just canned your eyes down the score, the goals scored for me, Greybeard, and have a look at Lowndes, 52 goals in 43 games. That's ridiculous.
But if you look over at the Titans, you have Ols there, 44 games and 49 goals. So those are they are very close in their goals, and clearly the players on each team who love to be scoring. So going to be keeping an eye on Willows and on Ols to see if they can extend and go further. But a fantastic scoring record. In the last series, I think it was King Kaza who had 51 goals or 50 games. But here, 52 or 43. That's a pretty good record in any form of Rocket League.
And 62 saves as well.
Wow.
I've just glanced at that. So Lowndes really doing everything for his roster. Let's see if they're able to take down the Titans, known as Titan. Whether Carnage is going to be the team to falter here as it is the game underway. Carnage in red, Titans in blue, and it is Carnage with that early shot onto the goal unit, trying to keep it up there. Lounge has on up, and Lounge with the goal. Already, great bit, he's adding to his tally.
Yeah, not absolutely wanting to improve on that. Nice work there, though. The pass, the delicate touch to hang the ball over and near the net, and then Willows coming in there and finishing it off. Fantastic start for them. And so their march to close the gap has begun.
Indeed it has, and Vector, one with that clearance, moves it down the field off the backboard. Jackie tried to follow it up, but wasn't able to, but Olds is there once again. Pops it over Lounge as we see the ball going to the centre. Vector not able to beat out Karma, as Karma does find that clearance. He's going to follow it up himself, put it into the centre. Challenged by Zaki. Unit was there to follow it up, unfortunately not able to get the shot off, as Olds now getting that clearance forward, has plenty of boost to work with, and actually puts it into the corner. Bit of a dangerous space for this Carnage roster, but Karma does well to tee it up for a bit of a clearance, but Best beaten out. No, he doesn't. He beats out, and actually the shot on goal does force Zaki to have to jump there. However, this Carnage side have come to play. The ball bouncing precariously already off that backboard, and definitely looking like the hottest side right now, Greybeard. Carnage really responding, but as always, the curse of the caster exists as Vector slots one back to bring the scoreline one apiece.
Yeah, but that touch from Zaki coming down off the wall set that up completely. And a goal against the run of play, because it was a wonderful start from Carnage, the early goal. But then all the pressure, they had all the pressure for a good 30 seconds or so, and then just let one slip by, and now it's a level game. And that should settle the Titans down a little bit. Now we have Ols, the top scorer, over for the Titan team, and Unit will clear it out. But now that They've now settled here by the look of it, Hops, and getting some pressure of their own, looking to extend the lead. Vector is going to come down off the back wall. Zaki with the finish. And yeah, they took a bit of time, but they seem fully into it now.
100% they really do. Zaki with a beautiful finish into that bottom corner. Unit caught on the near post. A bit flat-footed, however, they were punished for it. 2-1 lead in favour of Titans, growing that lead ever so slightly. And Carnage respond back. Zaki just wanted to have something to say about it. They're almost dunking under Karma, but Karma wise to those moves. Vector being a good job of setting up another shot. Karma with a beautiful block at the last second to close down Older's shot, but Zaki immediately putting the pressure back on. Unit had to get a clever touch there to play around Zaki as he was flying forward. Karma had pushed all the way around though, being that furthest man up, looking for that clearance. He does find himself with the ball again. Zaki challenges early. Lounge has gone up, going to look for the double touch. Cannot find it. Plays on the back one instead. Unit's there for the shot. Just plays it over Vector. Vector with the save again. How has he kept it out? But at the end of the day, Lounge has put that in. A beautiful attempt coming out from Vector to keep this goal line clear momentarily. But in the end, his teammates weren't able to recuperate fast enough. And that ball goes straight into the back of the net. Another one for Lounge to keep his goal line presence. Absolutely epitome. And it's 2 apiece in this first game. This best of 4 series. Alt is putting the pressure on backboard. Plays off the backboard again. And Vector, after the brilliant attempt of the saves, comes all the way down the opposite end of the field and scores a goal.
Yeah, and Ol's doing so well, chipping it over one, getting a read from his own touch and putting that in front, and the finish from Vector. Well, maybe there is a bit of justice in Rocket League. I was thinking after that save, you know, you sometimes feel so hard done by with such a clutch save, and then it goes in anyway. But maybe a bit of justice on the other end. They restore their lead, back up by a goal, and now an opportunity. Oh, my word. The miss now from Vector. Well, he's had sublime play on the one side, and now a bit of a whiff, which has kept his team under pressure. Karma putting it in front. Unit can't get a banger of a shot on net, and now Titan can take it out. Zaki doing very well to get it forward, and Titan's looking to me to they really jacked up their speed after about that second goal, and wanting to play a high-paced game and maybe keep Carnage out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And I actually spoke to Vector recently. We spoke about it last night. This team did drop a game to Fearless Alpha, who are sat at the bottom of the table right now with the worst record in RSC history. And in general, they didn't lose the series, but it isn't the greatest of signs in regards to their consistency throughout the whole series, as we have seen Ols going for the shot, but it's saved at the last second. Just to interrupt my point, but as I was saying, This side of Titans did lose and drop a game to Fearless Alpha. It wasn't the whole series, but does raise questions. They have got chinks in their armor, and I think it's only a matter of time until Carnage find this out. And if they do, this Titan side may well be in for a little bit of a runaround. But right now, they seem to be composed. They seem to be covering all possible angles as each touch they make with each clearance has so much purpose. And right now, they are applying on the pressure. I was trying to make something happen, keeping the midfield pressure there. Lounge doing a good job. Karma cuts out, actually gets demoed for his efforts, but there's a trade-off happening there with Zaki with a pitch clearance. Vector storming down the field, trying to make something happen, putting a lot of pressure on. Takes about 2 people, looking to take on a third, but can't beat out Karma, who was able to get to that touch beforehand. Vector, they're following on the shot, plays off the backboard. Zaki looking for the follow-up, but can't find it. These two teams almost trading punches at this stage. What a touch from Lounge! Grapeit, where did he come from?
Yeah, but look at the setup from Unit though. The flip reset across to Willows, and Oles just not prepared for that. He was setting himself up to save a shot from Unit, and then Willows coming in there and sending it the other way. So very nicely done, and a nice close game so far, living up to the expectations of being a close game, being an exciting series, and Titans on the balance of play probably slightly ahead, but in goals, it is dead even.
And this is what the story was told in the stats. Titans, they have got the more wins, but they haven't, they may have the possibility of not closing out as many goals as they want to. And I think Carnage can really capitalize upon that if they keep on piling on this pressure. It's 10 seconds left, and Grapeit would maybe on for a treat for first overtime of the first game of this series. As Vector trying to keep the pressure on. Nice touch off the backboard. Oles misses that, and we are into overtime.
A game 1 overtime. A lot of goals. A 6-goal game. The next one is the winner. And are we going to have one of those sub-15-second overtimes that end very quickly, or will it go deep and go long? Oles with a booming shot forward now off the backboard. Vector's down. Unit is there for the save off the goal line. And we'll now have a shot on the other side. Oh, Willows taking it away. Is probably going to be saved anyway. Trying to keep possession. Oles now. Look, he has high aerial control. Goes for the flip reset. What can he do with it? It's half a pass forward. It doesn't make it all the way. But my word, it almost ended quickly, but now we're heading to the first minute of overtime.
Yeah, it's nice to see it as Karma makes a really smart touch off his own backboard to evade the potential looming shots from one of the Titan players. However, it's Karma leading the charge here, playing it all the way down the field with a lovely air dribble. Lance going to follow up, put it into center, but Unit a bit too far pushed back. Does keep the ball of play in midfield, but Vector reads the touch nicely, plays in the center for Oles. Oles almost getting a light dink of that to play into the corner. Watching it just a little bit wide if you are a Carnage fan. Unit, though, being a really good job setting it up for Lounge, and Unit's done this all game long. Pivotal play within him with those fantastic 4 assists to his name. And that's what's crazy. He has 4 assists to the 4 goals that Carnage has scored. Unit working absolutely brilliantly, doing what his name entails, and being an absolute unit on this Rocket League field.
Indeed he was, and a lovely opening game. There was nothing that felt like it was two teams slowly warming up. Clearly they've been busy getting themselves ready and warm for this and living up to expectations. And Carnage doing the first part of the job they want to do here, taking game number 1, and they want to take all of this momentum into game 2 and continue with a fabulous start. And they had a great start, scored early, but then Titans really came to the party, and Carnage had to work, and they worked hard deep into overtime to take the win.
It really did. It was deep into overtime, but what a fantastic performance it was. We look across the stats here, 11 shots coming out from Carnage compared to the only 9 from Titans. So Carnage really piling on that pressure to this Titans roster. And we just spoke about it momentarily. What Fearless Alpha like do is really keep that pressure on. They really good at piling pressure and make you feel uncomfortable. The weakness was obviously that defense, and obviously here Titans faltering, momentarily here in that first game to the pressure at which Carnage can produce, and obviously Carnage having a much stronger defense. It's proving very difficult for Titans to break out of the shell that they find themselves in. But we are into game 2, as we see Lounge get a demo onto Zaki unit. Being a unit as he does, just make himself so difficult to stop the ball, as Lounge tried to play the ball into the center for Karma, but he's waiting for that shot, and it is already Titans on this back foot.
Yeah, Carnage starting game 2, very similar to how they started the first game. They had all the pressure in the first part of that first game, and it was only the counter-attack that got Titan back into it. And they looked very good after they got that equalizer. But now Karma trying to get something going here. Now it's falling back to Unit, helping with all the goals in the last game, in a demo high up on the wall and in the corner will keep the pressure on Karma. How far can he go? Oh my! Vector reading that very well, but the play's not done yet, and Ols, I think, just got a touch to send it flying across the net and into the blue corner.
That was palpitatingly close, but good defense. Titans hold momentarily here. But is Carnage still putting that pressure on? But Ols with a big 50 win here. Should be opportunity to put the pressure downfield along with Vector. Vector having a stormy game in game number 1, as we mentioned. Unit, though, carrying across his own backboard, trying to play it down the field. Zaki going to keep the pressure in. However, a good chance from Karma early. He's going to force Vector to jump. Vector had to get that touch as Unit was flying in there for the goal-scoring opportunity. Karma, though, with a nice pop. The ball was bouncing precariously towards the net. Just a little bit wide, fortunately, for the Titans. Unit, though, going to take a little bit of a moment, pop it forward. Ols had to get a touch. Only the light one, though, a bit dangerous for him. However, he's going to find a bit of a redirect just off wide, but can't find the redirect. However, Zaki is there. Puts it off the crossbar. Zaki, what are you doing? That was a perfect goal-scoring opportunity for Titans, but they have whiffed it. And now, though, it is back to another opportunity, and Vector linking up with Ols, redeem themselves after a bit of a catastrophic miss. It is going to be Titans taking the lead.
Yeah, they finally do, and again, sort of coming up against that fairly sustained pressure from Carnage. Carnage, though, not finding a goal for all the pressure they had. And then Titans again stepping on the gas in terms of pace, missing an opportunity, but then just seconds later sending it home. They do have the lead here. And now can they keep Carnage from equalizing? And given how the first game went, you feel one goal is never going to be enough, surely. Surely Carnage will find a way through to score at least one.
They must, especially with the goal-scoring prowess of Lounge on that side. He will be hunting for the back of that net, as Unit does get a demo onto Zaki, who's the last third man back. Lounge is going to go up, look for the redirect, but it's taken out by Zaki off the respawn, and a huge clearance, but what a save coming out from Karma! What a beautiful touch out of him to evade that second goal off that clearance. And now he finds himself with the ball, pops it up high for Lounge. Lounge looking to get the dunk, can't find the double touch angle, unfortunately. Zaki, though, is going to try and find that pop to vote off Karma. But just a moment of peace here, as we saw 2 phenomenal plays coming out from Karma to set up his team and to get that save, as now he is on with the ball, going off that side wall, going to let it dunk underneath Zaki, puts it over to Unit, who gets demoed for his efforts, but Karma really keeping Carnage in the runnings for this game so far.
Well, if you saw a still picture of that save from Will Owens, if you saw a still picture of just prior to him getting to that ball, what odds would you have given him for getting that save? It was unbelievable. Karma with a shot, though, and it's touched away. It really was remarkable to keep it just to a 1-goal game. And now Karma, the net's open, but Vector gets back and will touch it away into safety. Unit, okay, now we see Carnage pressure building again, but they've only got a minute to find a way through. All their pressure didn't get them a goal in the first minute or so. It has to in the last. Unit down! And almost the shot set up, but this is very good pressure. Hops, can they find a way through here?
Right now, this Titans defense looking so structured, so coordinated. It's almost unprecedented, and Carnage, they have to pull a few tricks out of their closet if they want to find an opening, but Unit may have found that opening here as we see Lounge flying in, and again it is Unit, the player to dismantle this Titans defense. At the last moment we saw the touch coming out from him in that midfield, being so fast to the ball, and all Lounge had to do was slide it straight in. I do not think Carnage was expecting to be beaten in that midfield, hence why all three players pushed up. It is tied 1 apiece with 30 seconds left on the clock. Is it going to be an absolute nail-biter of a goal in these last 30 seconds, or are we seeing another overtime, Greybeard?
My money's on the overtime, and you mentioned the tight defense that we've seen coming out from Titan, and they just had one error there, the double commit in the attempt to clear, which allowed Willones in to score. A little bit of a double here, but it 10 seconds, this is it. Is it in regulation or are we going for the overtime? Zaki back into the red half. Karma is going to just try and get it downfield, and I do think we're going to have a consecutive overtime. Hops.
I mean, I love overtimes. They are the best, but the ball is still up. However, as I'm saying that, of course, it touches the ground. In the second overtime, aren't we lucky? As Ols is the one putting the pressure on early. Does play around the final play. He's got a 2-on-1. But the last player does get that touch away, and Unit again, the one being the saviour for this Carnage roster. Lounge going to put a shot forward. Karma is up. Karma with the redirect. Karma with the goal. Karma close it out, and as you said, it was a short 15-second overtime here. What a touch and pass from Lounge, and Karma has gone up to slot it away. The second seed really showing their prowess and why they should deserve that #1 spot.
Wow, what a game. And for the second consecutive game, it is Carnage who steal a victory in overtime. And that has got to be getting under the skin of Titan. I mean, my word, especially given that they led that game for quite some distance, kind of giving up the equalizing goal in the last minute, close to the last 30 seconds, and now they find themselves on the wrong end of an overtime, and that's got to be a little frustrating. But Carnage, their confidence has got to be growing, and they're going to be feeling good and start thinking maybe, just maybe, we can sweep the #1 team.
I mean, if this was a sweep, it would be something else. I think a lot of people, in chat would have said, nah, Titans have got this because of how consistent and how solid they've looked. And granted, they may not be scoring high-scoring games, but they have that level of structure where you're kind of like, okay, we're going to have to do something different. But now, Carnage causing chaos against the Titans roster. And Titans look fairly uncomfortable, especially if Titans look fairly uncomfortable, especially when Carnage start getting a little bit of traction on the offense. And Lounge is the player there putting that pressure on. However, the man on your screen, currently Unit, is the player doing absolute work and really showing MVP qualities right now, Greybeard.
Certainly, and they're doing what must be done, and they're matching the pace of the Titans, and just sticking at their game plan. They were knocking at the door for so long with all of their pressure, and the defense of Titan was just holding firm, but they kept at it, eventually found the way through, steal it in the overtime. The long distance shot, that's going to make it off the backboard. Zaki! The save from Willones, but Vector will pick up the loose ball, send it home. And they have a lead again here, Hops, but this time a lot earlier.
Indeed. However, as you said, a lot earlier, but with the way that these games have been going, they cannot get comfortable. Seeing what Carnage can do and their ability to bring it back and close out games strong. And I think Titans, they have to be aware of this. However, a second goal going in for them is a great way to start off the comeback. A lovely finish coming out from Ols as Lounge gets the touch, almost throwing off Unit a little bit there. And the finish was very easy. There's nobody there to get that touch away. 2-0 in favor of Titans. Carnage now, the differential in this game 3 is growing and becoming even harder to overcome as Titans seem to find a little bit more traction here. Seem to be a little bit calmer and a bit more comfortable in this game number 3.
Well, they'll be feeling pretty good to have a 2-goal. Make that a 1-goal lead. Ops, here we go. And again, Unit involved. And my word, how instrumental has he been for setting up the cause here for Carnage? Wonderful stuff.
It's unbelievable indeed. I mean, Unit has been the sole caliber player. I think he's almost had assists for every single goal scored in this for the Carnage roster, which is unprecedented, which is, you know, almost unheard of. A beautiful showing it is, but they are still a goal down. However, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left is plenty, but Zach with the Zach breaking axles for days, and let's just have a moment to watch this fake. He gets the blitz reset, and Unit has to jump there. He has to commit to either the fake or the flip reset. Thought the flea set was going to go in, but Zaki just reading the scene beautifully.
Do we call that anything other than a filthy fake? But well done, and now they're back in front by 2 goals. And looking far more certain of themselves or Titan in this game number 3. It's been a scramble for them to hang on to a lead in the last game. If they score this, then surely, no, it's kept out. But for how long? Carnage up against their goal line, trying to hit it away, anywhere, just away, but it's coming right back. Unit, who's done so well for his team, how far forward can he get this? He's put Ols under pressure. He's going to tap it into his corner. Willones is going to get it down into the middle. Karma's up, but can't make contact. And an ideal chance to get 1 goal back goes a begging.
2 demos, a double demo coming out here, coming with 12 boosts, so really can't do much. Forces the 50. But the double demo is the thing that slowed down the pace for Titans, allowing Carnage to formulate something. A bit of a team pump, though, coming out. Oz has gone up. Lounge challenges early. Had to get that touch. Vector, can he follow it up? Plays it off the ceiling. Looking for the angle, but cannot find it. Zaki is there. He's going to take his time, go for the catch, and just play it around Lounge. However, Unit there to cover it nicely. He does get the demo onto Unit as well, though, as Old's going to put the ball flying down the field. Zaki going up. Zaki with a shot. Zaki without the angle, unfortunately. Was Vector gets a touch in the midfield to keep Carnage pinned back in their own half. Zaki and Coles working together to keep the pressure on. A good touch from Karma, though, to build up an opportunity here. Lounge puts the ball towards the center of the net. Unit's going to have to challenge Ols there, and he does so very well, allowing Karma for an opening to put it into the corner. The ball's bouncing towards the center, but Zaki reading it nicely, and it is Carnage now mounting a bit of pressure, mounting what they love to do, break down the defense, but a booming clearance may well put a stop to that.
Yeah, there's been such a long period of sustained pressure from Titan, but finally Carnage seemed to have broken it and pushing back on their own. But they got a minute and a half. They got to find 2 goals. Certainly time enough for them to do it. But you feel the first of those 2 is going to have to come relatively soon. Vector's up, but so is Unit, and he will get there, get the intercept, get the block, and maybe set something up for Carnage going the other way. Unit again. Oh, but the net's empty. Ols putting it down, trying to get the pass. Zaki will still have a shot. He doesn't connect with it well. And Carnage, you feel, got away with 1 there, but they're running low on time now. Hops a minute to find 2 goals to get us into a 3rd consecutive overtime.
I mean, if they do that, they've got to do it soon. A prime opportunity for Lounge there, playing a little bit high, unfortunately for him. As Karma's going to try and chip it over Zaki. He does well, but challenged early by Vector. The ball now bound about towards Unit. Unit going to go for the catch. Actually puts it down to Lounge, and Lounge scores! And again, it is Unit and Lounge playing together so beautifully to set this game up. Lounge gets that pop and actually leaves it. Unit gets that pop and leaves it for Lounge to go for the shot as he had the better angle. A beautiful job from these 2, as they have done all series long so far, but they've given themselves a shot. They've given themselves an opportunity to take this to another overtime.
The work there from Unit, Hops, was so good. He had a shot himself. He could have gone for a shot. He could have gone for an outplay in front of the net. Yet he pops it up and lets his teammates score. The unexpected, a little bit unpredictable in that moment, gets them within 1 goal. But now 15 seconds. 15 seconds for them to find a way to force a 3rd overtime. And if they do get it, I would back them to win a 3rd game in overtime. But perhaps they've left themselves with just a bit too much work to do, with too little time left. The ball hasn't bounced yet. It's still being kept up. Karma can't keep it up. And finally, Titan will force a win.
That was close. It did seem at the end there like this Carnage side could do it, that they could take it to an overtime. But Titan, as you said, Carnage leaving a little bit too late to clutch anything out. But this two sides really putting on an absolute show for us right now. Glance over the stats here. 56 field domination, % domination for the Titans. And 9 shots for them compared to the 5 for Carnage. So definitely the difference showing just a little bit there. The Titans did display their dominance and why they are the #1 seed, but they're still 1 game away from getting it to 2-2. Carnage still have it within their grasp to take this series, which would be absolutely huge for them.
Indeed it will. And I think it was that 2-goal deficit that undid Carnage. Carnage, we've seen in the opening games, happy to play from behind, quite confident in themselves to find a way through. But they went behind 2 goals twice, and it just left them with that little too much to do. You know, if it had been kept to 1 goal, they would have equalized in the dying seconds, and we'd be playing in overtime probably right now. But Titans, with the cushion of 2 goals, able to hold on, take that win. But we've seen this from Carnage. Every game, they're coming out guns blazing, trying to put heavy pressure on early in the game.
Yes, and at the same time, though, it always seems to be Titans with that counter-attack to get that first goal on the board. Let's see if Carnage can alleviate that potential this time and be the first ones to score. The man with that touch right now, Unit, has been the key player to set up this Carnage scoring prowess within Lounge and Karma. As Lounge, though, bid the player to get that pressure on. Oles goes for the catch, going to look for the flick to the side wall as he does find it, but touched away again, and it is Carnage still with that pressure. Lounge with a beautiful challenge. Unit's gone up, popping it down to Karma. Karma almost looking with a touch. A double commit coming out from Vector and Zaki, though, to keep that ball away from their net. Whether now Titans an opportunity to make something happen, but again, Unit in that midfield. What a challenge from Vector. Is going to put the ball straight back towards the line, and it is Zaki to put it back in. And as we have spoken, Carnage with the consistent pressure in the first half of this game, in the opening moments of this game, but it is Titans the one to score first.
And that's got to be frustrating for them, you know, that great early pressure, but not scoring from it, and then allowing themselves to concede on the other side. And Lowndes there with a mistake in defense, and his stomach would have dropped, because as he missed it coming off the wall there, he would have known his team were in massive trouble. And they are now. It is only 1 goal, and we've seen Carnage happy to play 1 goal behind, but so they've got to prioritize now and not go behind a second, because if you do, I would expect Titan to be able to then take the game. Unit taking it forward, Karma off the wall, he follows. I think he might have just run out of momentum boost to follow it and put something threatening on, but they are building up pressure again, but they're going to have to make the breakthrough. Oles with a bit of a fake, getting around 1 and coming in with the counter, as we've seen them do so often.
And Oles looking very threatening, finds the flick reset, but cannot find that second touch. Unit going to play it off the wall, looking for Lowndes. Lowndes with a shot, just a little bit wide, finds the second touch as well. Oh my word, all 3 of these players having a part to play in that. As Unit off the side there, Lowndes with the first touch, and wins the challenge of the second, allowing Karma to put that goal in. A beautiful effort coming out from Lowndes, and there we have it, David. There we have it. It is tied 1 apiece as we approach the halfway marker of this 4th game. Almost a kickoff goal there, but always able to keep it out the last second. And it's so nail-bitingly close. I mean, how else would we have this? 1-1 in game number 4.
No, it seems, based on what we have seen, things are exactly as they should be. Oles looking for the pass into the front. It is cleared away. Unit now sending it downfield. Vector popping it up. Oles, and he can't get the double. Was approaching it a little too fast to get that. Vector's been undone here with a 50. Lowndes trying to put it down for somebody. He's going to follow his own. It's going to come down off the crossbar. Zaki will get the clear. And this is good stuff. Sweaty stuff. Opportunities on both ends very quickly.
Indeed, and it's lovely to see as Karma trying to make something happen. Unit just playing patiently in that midfield, making sure that this Titans roster doesn't have any free opportunities. That's really loved the patience coming out from him as he does get the touchdown to Karma. Karma going off the sidewall. Karma has enough boost to work with, finds the Fury set over the second person, but Unit shot blocked by Zaki at the end there. Loun's going to try and make something happen. Just play it over towards the opposite corner. Make it awkward for this Titans roster. Zaki get the catch in front of the net. Goes up. Going to fake out the run person. Almost getting the pop over Lounge. But Lounge finds that clearance. Karma going to catch that ball with the boost. And actually play it around the final person. So I think we saw a little bit of a bump coming out from Lounge there. We see this replay. Lounge really getting the demo. And then getting the bump on that final player. They're allowing Karma to slot that in. Beautiful play from those two players of the Carnage roster. And it is going to be allowing Carnage to go to a 2-1 lead in this game number 4. Zaki has found himself the ball. Clutch touch coming out from Unit, though, off that kickoff. You never want to concede straight away after you've just scored.
No, and they've got a minute to defend that. And I'm glad the goal... Oh, look at this. It's going to be leveled up. You know, I was glad the goal got scored when it did, because I was about to say that this game just feels like it just feels like it's going to go to overtime. But then Carnage score, and I go, okay, well, maybe not. But now Titan have leveled up, and perhaps it just feels like it's going to end in an overtime goal.
I feel like it would just do this game injustice if it didn't go to overtime. You know, these two teams so deserving of an overtime in this game number 4. However, Oz has gone up, almost gets the touch, but cannot find it. As I was saying, these two teams deserve an overtime with the way that these games have been going. However, you have to say that if it goes to overtime, you kind of need to back Carnage with their track record of the series so far. So I'm pretty sure Titan will be wanting to close this game out before these 25 seconds are up. And with the sustained pressure they have now, they are looking to do so. Zaki going up off the backboard, looking for the double dutch. He can't find it. Vector with the shot, but not powerful enough for Lounge to panic. As Lounge did find the clearance. Demoed, though, by Vector. Zaki an opportunity here. Challenged early by Unit. Karma, though, going to go to the shot. Opposite corner, and Vector with the clutch save to keep it out. Well, the Lounge is still keeping the pressure on. The ball is up. Zaki's going to get a touch. Popped down by Karma, and the ball was actually on net. If it didn't bounce, it was going to be a goal. But we have got an overtime between these two teams. Game 4 overtime between the number 1 and number 2 seed of Elite.
That's fantastic. 3 overtimes in a 4-game series. And between number 1 and 2, and it's, you would absolutely expect this. On paper, Titan the favorites to take the series, but Carnage close enough to threaten, to cause trouble, to be the fly in the ointment, and they are going to be looking for a 3rd overtime win. But all the pressure right now from Titan. Vector's up, but so is the last... Oh, my word, Unit now with a save. A clutch save, but they're under pressure here. They're under pressure here, Hops. They're struggling a little bit to get it away from the goal line.
And they are completely boost starved. As you can see, Lounge in the midfield struggling to find any boost. It feels like only a matter of time until Titan find the back of the net. But Carnage really holding on for dear life. They are really have that no-die mentality, not to roll over. Not the best of touches for Zaki. He's actually going to buy some time for Carnage to formulate a bit of a counter-attack. And Unit puts the ball into the middle, but Lounge's shot blocked at last second. Unit's shot, though, a bit wide. Got by Zaki. Zaki's going to go for a bit of a dribble here. All 3 players of Carnage lurking very dangerously. And the ball going to go flying across the goal. Zaki, they're going to play off the backboard, looking for the double touch. Cannot find it. Cleared away. Vector with the shot. Missed, though. And the ball now rolling precariously towards the opposite corner. Karma's going to go up. Try and find an angle. But saved from Oz. Seems to be off his own crossbar. Dangerous save from him, but he had to make it as Lounge was up for the shot. Karma now with the air dribble across his neck, going to pop it down to Lounge. A bit of interchange passing here as Unit with the booming clearance. Nobody's there for Titan, and nobody's there for the shot as Lounge is going to take that victory for Carnage. And Unit, who else would it be with that clearance, with the bumper, and allowing Lounge to get that goal? I mean, what a series that was, but how else would you have it than Unit enabling Carnage to close out that game? What a series we've had, Greybeard.
It's been a fantastic series, and Titan will be so frustrated losing there. In that overtime, they were stranded. They were suffocating Carnage, just keeping the pressure, keeping them away from their boost. And we saw the players struggling just to find pads somewhere. And then one little mistouch right on the halfway line by Zaki, a bad touch, and it allowed Carnage the time to get out of their half, to reset, pick up some boost, and then they just started to push. It was about 35 seconds after that they put in the winner. But what a series! 3 out of 4 games going to overtime. Carnage winning all of them, and I think they'll be blown away with this result,
100%,
closing the gap by 3 games.
100%. I really think that was a beautiful performance coming out from Carnage, you know. And actually, if we saw the games that they won, they dominated with their shots and they dominated with their energetic kind of monkey mechanic presence on offense. And Titan, they had no response. They could not deal with, in particular, I'm going to mention his name again, but Unit's ability to create space for his team. And I think that's it. He has an uncanny ability to produce space out of nothing. And with the powerhouse shooting capabilities such as Lounge, I mean, what more can you do? There is going to be goals happening, and this time it is Carnage closing it out. Titan, massive GGs to all of them, but I really think that this Carnage side completely deserve that W, and I think we're going to try and get Unit in for a chat, because I don't know about you, but I want to know how the hell he creates that sort of space.
And undoubtedly, I mean, how awesome it must be to be on a team where you have a player like Unit sort of providing space and providing the passes and the setups for these goals. It's got to be wonderful for Lounge and Karma to have a player like that, and then also did a lot of duty in defense, a couple of very important touches away, saves off the goal line. So for me, absolutely the MVP for Carnage for the series.
100%. And talking about MVP, it is the man himself, Unit. Unit, welcome to the casting booth. Thank you for coming to chat with us. You had an unbelievable series. How are you feeling?
Good. Hungry.
Good and hungry. He obviously wanted to get these games over and done with to get some food in his stomach. I mean, there's a few questions. We won't keep you for long because obviously you want some of that nosha. But I have to ask you, you were absolutely pivotal in creating space and allowing goals to go in for your team. Is that kind of your play style? Is the way you play with your team? Is that your role, to just create space and create opportunities?
Yes, very much so. I believe, like, when, as first man, if I get beat to the ball, it shouldn't matter. The ball should be given to the guy behind me. I mean, and then I'm in a better spot to receive it.
That's definitely a fantastic mentality. And off the back of that, having that sort of mentality and having someone like Lounge behind you to come flying in for those shots, what is it like knowing that you're going to have a second man who's quicker than pretty much everybody else?
It's like having a twin brother helping me eat my food. It's really good. I never know he's there, but I know he's there.
That's fantastic stuff indeed. Great bit. Ask away.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. So coming into this, I mean, you're the number 1, the number 2 team. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident were you that you would take down the series?
I don't know. We kind of just played our game. We never really had any thoughts on whether win or lose. We just played. We just played our game.
And then, I mean, I guess if there's a criticism, and it's hard to criticize because you played so well and you've taken it down 3-1, but we saw in, I think, 3 of the 4 games, I mean, almost right out of the gate, your pressure was very high, putting on pressure with speed very early on, and then and twice got kind of countered against the run of play and scored on. So I don't know if that formed part. Was there any discussion about that, or was it just, okay, we haven't scored, carried on? Because on the other side of the coin, I have to say, you guys seem quite comfortable to play a goal behind and seem quite confident that you would score and level it up.
Yeah, it got to the point where in the later games, in the first one and the second, we were actually down for the most part of it and somehow won it. So it didn't matter that we'd concede early.
All right, well, that certainly came across. So, and again, very well played, a great performance, and closing the gap on the top team.
Fantastic.
It's all thanks to Vlovins.
Fantastic stuff indeed. Thank you very much, Unit, for coming to have a chat with us, and a massive GG's to you and your team. But that's it, Great Beard, for our series. It's been a pleasure casting with you, because I believe this is our first cast together.
Oh, not only our first cast, the first time we've ever spoken to each other, and it was to do a cast. It was fabulous, and what a great series to do it in. We didn't have to manufacture the enthusiasm. It was a wonderful series to watch and a great series to cast.
Indeed, and it was a great series to cast because you were right there with me. What a man he is indeed. Thank you very much, Greybeard, for joining us on the casting desk this evening. But guys, don't go anywhere, because we have one more elite game for you this evening. Centurions versus Diamond Dust. Guys, don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back for some more RSC action.
Peace.
I hope you know that you are on my mind. Promise I'ma waste no time. Got down, but now I climb. Said I wouldn't make it, feeling so lost. I feel caught up in the matrix. Have to keep waiting.